we will get started with our webinar. At this time, the first thing I want to do is say welcome. My name is Matthew Marshall, and I am the ePlan State Tier 2 Coordinator for the University of Texas, Dallas. This will be my third year now doing webinars for ePlan. We will be doing one every other week from now until the submission, which is due March 1st, 2018. So those of you that are on the webinar, the first thing I want to tell you is how and why we submit a Tier 2 report. It's under 40 CFR Part 37010, and it tells us who must comply. And it says if OSHA requires you to have or prepare the availability of a MSDS, which now is the SDS, for a hazardous chemical, and if either of the two following condition is met, you must submit a Tier 2 report. The first thing is if it's an EHS, an extremely hazardous substance, present at your facility at any one time in the amount equal to or greater than 500 pounds, or approximately 55 gallons, or the threshold planning quantity. Depending on the chemical, depends on the threshold planning quantity. Please refer to the EPA's list of lists to find out the threshold planning quantity. So some examples I will give you are pure chlorine gas is 100 pounds. Anhydrous ammonia is 500 pounds. Sulfuric acid is 500 pounds. That is for a Tier 2 report. The non-EHS Tier 2 reports are 10,000 pounds or greater at any one time on site. So remember that it's at any one time on site that you must submit. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time so that everyone can hear it one more time. It is EHS chemical, 500 pounds, or the threshold planning quantity, whichever is least, at any one time in the year 2017. So that's from January 1st through December 31st at any one time. You must submit a Tier 2 report. Okay. Now I have a caveat at the bottom that it says check with the state, LEPC, and fire department for different amounts. Different locations require different reporting. One of the requirements out of Wake County in North Carolina is 55 gallons of any chemical. You must submit a Tier 2 report. So please check your local jurisdiction on whether or not you must submit and how to submit to the LEPC and the fire department. If you're on this call and you've received the email, the states that are on the email accept Tier ePlan, and you must check with the LEPCs and fire departments in your local jurisdictions to make sure that they also accept ePlan. Okay, so to log into erplan.net, and you will find under the online Tier 2 e-submittal the login page for your Tier 2 reporting. Please log in using erplan.net and then use the online Tier 2 submittal. This is your welcome to ePlan online Tier 2 reporting system. There's a couple items that I will bring up under the important notes. Of course, complete Tier 2 forms for reporting year 2017 are due by March 1st, 2018. There is an administrative charge for organizations that use ePlan for creating and filing Tier 2 reports. Please view the list, which is also in the email that I sent out, in order to see how much and who you have to pay for those. The ePlan webinars, which is you are on right now, that is our registration for those. For 2017 reporting year, 9 states: Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Montana, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee. Several counties, such as Warren County, Ohio, Chesapeake City, Virginia, and others in Virginia, which are listed there, accept ePlan as an electronic form of Tier 2 reporting. Okay. Check with your local CERC and LEPC, but you can also export in a Tier 2 zip file or a T2S file, so you can then submit electronically also. And then number 6, please refer to your state website for information regarding the requirements and procedures for your submittals. And then number 7 is the online training video. Under the online training video, that'll take you to the YouTube website, which this video will be put up as soon as we are done with the webinar today. Okay, signing in. When you are signing in, you have an access ID number. It is a number, usually starts with 101. And if you click on that access ID number, if you forget your access ID number, or you are new to submitting Tier 2 reports, please do not create an account if your company has already submitted previously. If it has submitted already previously, there is a access ID already created for your company, and you are able to click on the forget access ID, or you can send me an email directly and I will forward it to get you the access ID for the company that you are submitting for. If you forget your password but you know your access ID, you type in, click on the forgot password as well. If you or your company has never submitted a Tier 2 report ever and you're new to this year, please use the create an account. So let me reiterate this again. If your company has submitted a Tier 2 report in the past, meaning you got an email from me, that means your company has submitted a Tier 2 report and your email address was on that Tier 2 report, please do not create an account. Please, we will give you your access ID. So remember that the access ID number is for your company, not for you. So let me say that one more time. The access ID number is for the company, not for an individual person. Okay, let's move on. Now, once I've logged in, this will be my submission home where I start the year. So the first thing I need to do is, if I've submitted before, I need to copy data. So what I will do is, from my previous year, I will drop down and click the previous year that I've submitted. So if you've submitted 2016, you will see a 2016 come up there, and then you will copy it to 2017, because that's the year that we're reporting this year. And then we will click step 3, which is copy data. Once I've then copied the data, you will also see it on the left-hand side where it says enter new data, retrieve old data, currently filed years. 2017 will be there, as well as under the middle column of copy data, you will see also 2017. So please click on the 2017. Now, if you are importing a Tier 2 zip file, a T2S file, or any other files, you will use the far right column, which is your import Tier 2 and T2S file, and you can go through the information that's provided there. Okay, once I've logged in, I come to my 2017 online filing home. There's some information here that we can use in order to submit our Tier 2 reports. The first thing is search existing facilities. You can search by facility name or street address if you have multiple facilities. By city or county, you can also do that and click the find button, and it will find those facilities for you. As I move further down, we can use and add a new facility on here. You're able to add a new facility or delete a facility if that facility did not have a chemical on site at any one time. All right. As I move further down, you'll see my facility ID number. You'll see my facility name with my contacts, as well as my chemical information. You'll see the state that I'm filing in and my filing status. You are not filed until that filing status says file. Okay. So as I move forward, the first place that I will go to is my facility name. So I will click on my facility name. I will click on the facility name and it will take me to my information on my facility. Under the information of my facility, I can go through and make sure that my information is correct as I scroll through to make sure all that information is correct. So at the top, you see my current facility, you see my facility information, all right, facility identification, all right, and state fields, documents, and then validate record, which we'll get to here in a second. So as I scroll down on my mailing address and physical address, this is where we want to make sure our latitude and longitude are correct. So we will click on our validate latitude and longitude. If it is in the right place, great. We click update, or we don't have to click anything. If it is not in a place, we can actually drag the flag on Google to the correct address and click update latitude and longitude. So we want to make sure that that is correct. Under the maximum number of occupants, that is under EPCRA, the maximum number of occupants at any one time. Let me say that one more time. That is the maximum number of occupants at any one time. So I give the example of shift change. If you have 12 on the first shift, 12 on second shift, and when they are there at the same time, that means maximum number of occupants would be 24. So, and that's how you would put that in here, because the first responders will need to know the maximum at any one time. Under the type of facility, this is where you will tell the first responders and the state whether you are a 302 facility, whether you're a 312, a 313. If you submit for a toxic release inventory, you must click yes. And also under the Clean Air Act 112, which is the RMP facilities. So you would enter yes in both of those. Under submission, this is the person that is authorized to submit the Tier 2 report. This may or may not be the person actually typing the information in, but this is the person that is authorizing that this Tier 2 report is correct. So please, under submission, type the name of the person that will be making sure that this is true and accurate and complete. Okay. Under the facility identification, this is where we have our Dun and Bradstreet number. And those of you that are government, you may not have a Dun and Bradstreet, so put zeros. But everyone else, you must submit a Dun and Bradstreet number. This is also your NAICS number. They have changed again this year. So you may get a validation problem under the NAICS number. So please make sure that the value is correct based on the NAICS number. ePlan has set up where the ID value will automatically self-populate if you put in a couple numbers. Sorry about that. I lost some connectivity with my internet. Okay, if someone can let me know in a question of where they lost me. Let's see, 48. Sorry about that. Please let me know what slide I was on and where I was. NAICS code. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so let's go back to the NAICS code. So it wasn't very long. That was good. Okay. Okay, so sorry, 1 second. Under the NAICS code, please, you're going to have to update it again this year. If you start with the value in your ID value, with the first couple of numbers, it will self-populate and you'll be able to click and go to the next submission. So also under the facility identification, this is where you will add, if you are a TRI, toxic release inventory, this is where you will add your number in there here. Also your RMP number as well as other numbers that may already self-populate. So those of you in Florida and Alabama have a specific number that will self-populate, or you may have to add the state ID for Alabama, and you'll have that already in there, or you will have to get it. So if you are missing any numbers, please contact me through my email and I can assist you with that. Every time that you click next, you will also, it will self-save. So you can click save, or you can just click next and it will save for you. Under state fields, this is where you will be able to add specific state fields. Some states have fields that you will need to put in here. So please click on that to make sure that they are correct. Now, under documents, this is where you as a facility can upload documents that the first responders can see. There's a couple suggestions that I ask you to submit with your Tier 2 report. The first one is a site plan. Some states require it, some local municipalities require it, but EPCRA themselves, the Fed, does not require it, but I suggest is a good practice to update your site plan. This is where you can update that file here. The other is any SDSs that you would like to update. You are more than welcome to put in here as well. The information is transferred from year to year, so you will not have to update it. If it was in there last year, the documents will be into that system again. So under the documents, so you will do your file type, choose the category, and then you can choose your file up to a 9 megabyte file, and then put a little description so that the first responders know that how they are able to put the information or look at the information and what information it is. Those of you that use an online system and you have a direct login for the first responders, you can also put that on here, the website and the login. You can also put that in the file description as well. So if you would like to give access to, say, a third party of a Tier 2 online or MSDS online or one of those, you're able to actually upload a document type that is a website where they can click on it and log in. All right. Next is our add or edit contacts. Your contacts should be in there. If not, this is where you would add them in. You need at least 3 contacts for a Tier 2 report, 4 contacts for a 302 facility. So federal mandates of an owner-operator, an emergency contact, and a Tier 2 information contact with emails and phone numbers. So if you have one person that is multiple, deals with multiple facilities, you can type their name in, click save and continue. it goes into their phone number. So you need at least one 24-hour emergency contact. Click Save and Continue. And this is where you can actually add that person into multiple facilities. So you're able to check the box and then next to select all facilities and contact type, or just a single facility, and then select contact type. So you can add this person as an emergency contact, the tier 2 contact, and multiple things just by using their information in here. When I click next, if I click add, that means I want to add more. If I click next, it goes into my next position. Under my next is my chemicals. Okay, this year EPA has now required that we go to the global harmonization facility information and chemical information, sorry. So the first thing we would need to do is if we need to update our chemical information, to do our chemical details, chemical information. As I scroll down, I now have different physical health hazards. There must be at least one check in physical hazards or health hazards, which is if it does not meet one of the ones that are prescribed on here, hazards not otherwise classified. Where I get this information is directly from the SDS. So let me say that one more time. Our physicals and health hazards come directly from the SDS. So you can see that they've added multiples on here, and we must check the right boxes. As I move to the next tab is our storage location. I must put in my storage type, pressure type, temperature type, location. Please do not click the confidential on the location. Your first responders won't be able to see it if you do check the confidential. If you are doing the storage type, please use the drop down as best you can to find the information there. Under the pressure type, ambient, greater or less, and then temperature is ambient, greater or less, or cryogenic. If we are doing a mixture, we can do our percent by volume, all right, and we can do our information. So we put our CAS number in, we can add it. As you can see here, I did chlorine and sodium thiosulfate as my 2 percentages, all right, and it should not add to more than 100%. Once I am completed and gone through my information to make sure it is correct, I click my validate record. Now, when I click my validate record this year, what ePlan has done is allowed, if you forgot to change your physical or health hazards, it's allowing you to update it during your validation. So you can see on here where I didn't validate my diesel fuel, I can then click on what that is. So it would be a flammable. All right, and then it would update it automatically. Okay, so I don't have to go back like before where you see the error above, which is my NAICS code. I can click on Edit NAICS Facility Identification page to fix error. It will take me back to the NAICS, and then I will update it. Where my chemical, I can just update it directly in my validate process. Once I have done and completed my validation process, I will click on Update Data to ePlan. You can also, at this point, export it to a T2S file, PDF file, or Tier 2, but it will be in draft form only. This will be a draft form. So I upload my data to ePlan. Once I upload my data to ePlan, it takes me to my next position. This will allow me to see my filing status and my validation status. I must validate in order to file. You can also put in authorization or authority emails in here up to 5. I check the box to the left under my select all, and I click submit. When I click submit, depending on the state that you are in, will take you to different pages. In Florida, you will have to answer questions for Florida. In North Carolina, you will have to answer questions for North Carolina. In South Carolina, it will automatically say thank you and you're done because South Carolina pays, Montana as well. The others states, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, will take you to the E-Plan payment. At this point, you are still not filed until E-Plan receives your payment. So if you click on credit card payment, it takes you to the site where you pay by credit card. If you do check and money order, you will be able to download an invoice and send a check. The system will not create your filed Tier 2 report until E-Plan receives a check or money order. Let me say that one more time. The system will not allow you to file. It will not show filed until E-Plan receives your check or money order. So please, as best you can, use a credit card payment if possible. When I click submit, it will take me to my payment page and it will allow me to pay. Pay by credit card, I can download my invoice, I can cancel an invoice, but remember, your status is not paid. Your system is not in your Tier 2 report is not in the system, which will not allow you to be compliant with the law and must receive payment before March 1st, 2018. So E-Plan must receive payment before March 1st of 2018. Okay, here is my information, and I will look at the questions that I've received right now, and I will go one by one and see if I've answered them already, or I will answer them as best I can. Here's my email. If you would like a call back from me, please email me with the best phone number to call you where I can reach you. This year, I am not putting my phone number out as best I can because I've received already about 200 phone calls over the last week, and I cannot take that many phone calls. So it's easier for me to call you back. All right, so I've got a few questions here, and I will go through them to make sure we answer them. Okay.